Hey guys, a warm welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't worry, you've not missed a party. Click on that subscribe button below and become part of the family. So in this video, as per the title, I reckon I bought the world's cheapest and biggest bargain Ferrari at just $19,000. This car retailed at over $200,000 back in the mid-90s. My car is a 22-year-old car. Let's go and find out what it is and what the catch is, why it was so cheap. And there you go guys, this is the car. It's a Ferrari 456, it's a V12 engine. Let me pull it out, get into some space and I'll give you a quick 360 tour of the car. Okay, so why the Ferrari 456? Well, at $19,000, obvious reason is look what you get for your money. That car in the mid-90s was well over $200,000, which in today's money is probably more like $300, $350, and I just paid $19 for it. Look at the lines, look at that classic shape, the Pininfarina design. That rear end is just gorgeous. The real selling point on this car for me was the color combination. So we've got a real dark kind of metallic carbon gray for the paintwork, and the contrast with that lovely kind of tobacco baseball glove leather interior just sold it to me. There's a couple of things I don't really like about the 456, and that really is the front wheels. I like the rear, don't like the front. They're only 17-inch on this car, but other than that, we've got classic pop-up headlights, we've got that lovely Ferrari grille. And the second and more vital reason that I personally bought this Ferrari over the other ones is these two, my two little daughters. So over here, Nicole. And this one is? Maya. And Nicole, how old are you? 5. And Maya, you are? 8. And is there enough room in the back of the Ferrari for you two? Yeah. And what do you like about it, Nicole? I like. Come over here. I can't see you. Like the light. You like the lights. And Maya, what do you like? The horn. You like the horn. And do you like these nice, comfy seats? Yeah. Are they good to drive in? Yeah. So, do you think we should go for a drive in the car? Yeah. Alright, let's do it then. And there it is, that glorious V12 Ferrari lump. A few quick stats on this. So it's a 5.5 litre V12, pushing out about 436 brake horsepower. It's obviously a front engine car, rear wheel drive. We won't talk about fuel economy because that will be embarrassing. It's a 0 to 60 is about 4.9 seconds with a top speed of almost 180 miles an hour, which is not too shabby at all. So let's pop the bonnet down and take this one out for a spin. So I guess the question on everyone's mind is, why was this car so cheap at just $19,000? And there's a couple of good reasons for that. Number one is, previously, a long time ago in the States, this car was a salvage repaired vehicle. So it's got a title on it. And the second reason is, when I went to buy it, not only did it have a title, this car was a non-runner. So it was bought as seen. The one thing I did manage to do was get the Cellar, which is a famous classic car garage in Beverly Hills, to turn over the engine so it wouldn't fire up, but I could hear it turning. So there was a calculated risk there. But other than that, I didn't really know much about the car. I didn't have any history with it. Did manage to track down the old owner, and he gave me a bit of an insight as to what had gone on. The other point is that this car was bought unseen, and so it comes with a whole list of gremlins. The 456 suffers with quite a few issues, and this car seems to have the majority of them. Okay, let me give you a little flavour as to some of the problems I've discovered on this car since it's arrived in the UK. Firstly, the engine. It wasn't running to start with, and I replaced 2 fuel pumps. It now has a mind of its own as to how many horses it's going to give me. Sometimes I've got full beans. Currently I've got full beans, which is really good fun. 50% of the time it decides to give me half the engine, or a third of the engine, or 2/3 of the engine. That's the engine. Electrically, this car has its fair share of problems. The windows didn't work. I had to replace an ECU. Those you can't even buy anymore. I was lucky to get one on eBay. The doors, the windows are meant to come down by a few inches when you open the doors. None of that was happening. The air conditioning, that doesn't work. Not generally a problem here in the UK, but currently it's the hottest time of the year, and I could really do with some AC. The tyres, I'm pretty sure, need replacing. They feel very wooden. The suspension, obviously, we've got several problems with the suspension. I've rectified one of them, but we have a few others. I've still got my suspension light on, and we'll go through that in another video. So it has its fair share of problems, all of which we are going to try and iron out in the coming videos on this car. And, like I said, most of which, including that crazy gap in the window, are all common problems of Ferrari 456. Other than those few little niggles, when the car is going, as you can hear, it is so much fun. So hopefully, with a bit of time, my effort, and a small injection of cash, we can get this car tip top again and really enjoyed. I've definitely got all the horses back under the engine. Sounds freaking great when it does it right. Just keeping an eye on my temperature gauges there. One got quite warm, but that's come right down now. It just doesn't like to sit still, this car. So I'm out on some very typical British country roads here. You can probably see that in the filming. Part of the reason I've chosen to do this is I am testing out the 456 suspension. Now, these cars are notorious for suspension problems, and mine's no exception. So here's one reason you avoid buying salvage repaired Ferraris. As you can see, we have a dragster type 456. The car has jacked itself right up, and that's the way it's driving at the moment at the back. So the hydraulic suspension is in its super high position. I've never even seen one go that high. So anyway, it's a very bumpy ride. I will nurse it back home, but before I do that, I'm going to just try and unplug the computer if I can get to it, and just try and do a reset and see if that hydraulic system will go back down again. But there you go, another reason to avoid these cheap Ferraris. So a nice easy fix on that suspension. This rod here, which is your self-leveling system, the rod had come off. I got the car up on ramps immediately after I spotted the problem, and we could see that very easily. This was down, hence the car was jacked right up. So I've just screwed that back in. Just need to adjust it to get the height right, and free fix. my light on. My door open. The door's open. Try this. Okay. Better. So I have the suspension light over there on the right, and here, this is my slow down light flashing away. So if I put my foot to the floor, it makes the right noises, but it just is. I've got half the power basically. So I think my horn's got a sore throat as well. Okay, so let's talk about the plan for this project. $19,000 456. What do we need to do to get this looking a little bit nicer? So the main body, fortunately, is very clean. There is a few panel gaps that are questionable. We've got the aftermarket shields here, which I think look nice on this car. We've got a little bit of spray work to do really on the seals here, down here. Wheels are all good, they're okay. What else? A few scratches, some of these might polish out. Some of them are a little bit deeper. Fingerprints, they're all mine. The main one is this one here. And this was all due to transport when the car was coming over. There's a few cracks on the bottom of the spoiler. The cool thing about the car is these side lights, which you can no longer get from Ferrari, they are all intact. Let's just check up those pop-up headlights. So look at that, that is cool. Look at those 90s pop-up headlights. I am very tempted, I need to check, but I have some French yellow lens 355 lights, and I think they are the same lights in a 456, and I might, because this car is carbon grey, I think it's going to look dead cool with some yellow lights in there. And it's about a half an hour job to swap those over, so I might do that, see how it looks. As you can see, the panel gap there, I need to check, but I think that looks a little bit too big on that door pillar. Brakes are all good. The other biggie is the tyres. Now I've looked for a date code on these, but I think they're pretty old. One of the big problems is the suspension on the car and the ride. Very wooden, and I suspect part of that could possibly be the age of these tyres. Tread is fine on them, but I think they have gone past their sell-by date, let's say. This is the lower rear spoiler on the 456. That is quite a troublesome item. The good news here is that works. I didn't used to like these rear lights, but they've really grown on me now. Like I say, I need to get in, clean here. The parcel shelf definitely needs recovering. So let's have a look on the inside at the jobs. I might try and get a new chrome gate here for the interior. This needs redoing. Actually good, there's no holes or anything like that. There was just a bit of balsa wear here. So they'll all clean up nicely. We can just sort that out. I can get a colour match for that. I've got missing trim here on the sill. You can see that. So just a general cleanup of the inside. But the biggest problem we have that dogs many 456 Ferraris is this, the window gap. You can see I put my finger through there. It's the same at the front. I'm not going to go into what causes it. Like I say, it's very common, and we will spend a lot of time in a subsequent video trying to fix that on this car. Engine wise, the plan on the car is we are going to obviously try and get it running first of all. It is lacking power, that could be a number of things. Don't forget the car was a non-runner when we bought it, and part of that I have had to already replace the 2 fuel pumps on the car, clean up the fuel tank, we'll go into that one later, but that's as far as I got. Fuel pumps, fuel tank, fuel filters. Beyond that, so they're at the back of the car. The lines, the injectors, I haven't checked, so that's a possibility. We'll do all that. We're going to give it a general cleanup. What do you guys think of these valve covers here? This is the standard factory cover color, and as you can see, the paint is flaking off. Again, all of these valve covers here, this top engine block cover, I'm thinking of painting it a different color. Give me your thoughts on that one. Second point is really, it's actually a quite clean engine, but we will 100% be doing a full step-by-step service on it. The major service will be doing the cam belts, as I did with the 360, step-by-step, so every man and his dog will be able to service a 456 or a 550, because they're pretty much the same, after the video. We're going to find a couple of the missing trim bits and badges that we need off the car. But engine wise, like I say, there's not too much work to do other than service and figuring out what's wrong with it. And there you go guys, that is the $19,000 Ferrari. Those are just some of the problems with the 456 and the reason why it was so cheap. I'm now going to go away, have a nice relaxing cup of Ferrari coffee, do a little bit of research. So join me next time when I start to rectify some of the problems on the car, and together we will find out just how cheap a cheap Ferrari really ends up costing. Was the gamble worth it? We'll find out. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.